is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap Platform Details webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. Risk disclaimer: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So what we're going to do in the webinar here is we're first going to go through some of the Bookmap resources, the Bookmap website, some of the social media. Note here that when you subscribe to Bookmap, it comes with education. There's a 4-part educational course. It teaches you about learning order flow and how Bookmap can help you. And then every day we back up that content in the live markets. In the advanced order flow webinars, which you'll have access to, and then you'll be able to understand some of these concepts as they unfold in the live market. Okay, so that's what the education here is about. Some of the other resources, like the social media, I'll go over in just a second. And then we're going to go look at Bookmap, the basic interface, and start to define the product a bit and what you're looking at. And then we're going to start to analyze some of the basics in the order flow. Okay, so just give you a taste of that, of how to start using Bookmap in the live markets. Okay, all right, so hold on just a minute here. I need to disable something, just a moment. Okay. All right, okay, there we go. Okay, so let's jump into bookmap.com. And let me know if you have any questions. This webinar is for you guys to ask questions. That's what we're here for, basically. All right. Okay. The questions you'll find in GoToWebinar there. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit. Okay, so intro video here for those of you who are new. Scroll down, information about Bookmap. Bookmap for equities with DX feed here. Okay, there's more information about this. You can see updated information now. Consolidated feed with NASDAQ total view, the CBOE Edge X, and CTA UTP data. Okay, so this is a great new addition here. Ask all sorts of questions here, and I can also send you to a landing page for further clarification. Let's go down a bit further. So that's Bookmap for U.S. equities, but I'll cover it again here in just a second. So what is Bookmap? We are a visualization software trading platform, just like some of the other platforms that you see up here. We're not a data provider, though. Okay, so you will need to provide the data for the futures market and the U.S. equities, okay, to connect Bookmap. Now, some of the platforms you see up here, like Ninja, TTX Trader Pro, and Interactive Brokers Traders Workstation, we connect via the API. So you have that option as well. However, it's preferred to connect directly to the data provider like CQG, Rhythmic, Gain, IQ Feed, Transact, and Dev Experts. Now, this Dev Experts is the US equities here. All right. Okay. Subscription packages. This is where you can download Bookmap or subscribe. You can subscribe yearly for a 20% discount or monthly here. There's digital version and global versions. Okay, the digital version, it's free, no credit card required. It connects to live data for the GDAX exchange only. You can't record that data, nor can you trade from the chart. You can only access one digital currency at a time. Okay, and you only get basic education and you get limited support. Now, the Digital Plus version, you can trade from the Bookmap chart, you can record and replay. You get the advanced education, and you get up to 20 different symbols, okay, for digital currencies. Global version. Global means it covers everything. So it will cover everything in the Digital Plus, but it allows you that connectivity to the futures and US equities. Okay, but you will need to provide that data. That's the one difference here. Okay, of course, you get the advanced education and full support. The Global Plus version, it's everything else, but it includes a cache of add-on indicators that we developed, proprietary indicators for understanding the order flow in a better manner here. So you can trade right from the Bookmap chart with one-click trading. There's a large lot tracker that we're looking at specific players in the market that are holding the majority of liquidity at a specific price level, and some imbalance indicators, iceberg detector. So again, looking at larger players in that market, and then a correlation tracker looking at a few different markets that you can plot right onto your Bookmap chart. Okay, social media, let's go through that quickly. At bookmap_pro for Twitter. All sorts of new interesting stuff up here, usually a couple times a day. And then the Bookmap YouTube page here. You can scroll down and just go through some of the playlists on the front page. The Bookmap intro videos here, very short and concise, and gets you familiar with Bookmap. The features and components, just going through the interface and how to use Bookmap. Order flow video snippets playlist, I think you'll find this helpful. Very concise, short videos going through order flow phenomena that Bookmap visualizes. Okay, this is where the rubber is really going to meet the road, how you use Bookmap, and you have a bunch of videos here in front of you. Okay, this is the kind of data, or this is the kind of information that we'll cover in detail in the advanced order flow webinars. All right, so let's jump into Bookmap here. Take a look at the chart. We'll look at the S&P E-mini here. All right, and continue to drift off to the downside here. And for those of you who are new, well, let's go through and define the elements here on the Bookmap chart. Okay, there's really only three elements. I'll close up this indicator subpanel for cumulative volume delta that we have. Okay, and we're just going to look at the basic chart here. Right, and for those of you that are new, this may look very foreign to you, and but it's really simple, straightforward data and a very, very clear and objective view of the market. Okay, three elements only on this chart, and none of them are lagging indicators. This is the market. It's showing you very, very objectively what's going on in the market. Okay, so one element is the historical best bid and offer. Okay, then you see these volume spheres or dots. That's the volume that transacted on that historical best bid and offer. Okay, and then the last element is the heat map. The orange areas are very, very high liquidity. And then it scales down. The scale is up here from orange to yellow to white to blue to black. Okay, so I'll define this a little bit better here so you understand how we're taking the data from the DOM and then transposing it onto chart historically here. But let's start off again and just go through the basics here. And I'm going to strip off all of this other, those three elements of on the Bookmap chart, and we're just going to look at a candlestick chart, and that's it. Okay, so 5-minute candlestick chart here. We're all very accustomed to this. Let's see, Alexander. Yeah, I'm using the Bookmap 7 beta version. So if you currently subscribe, then you can just download that version if you like. And all right, so looking at this candlestick chart, this is a view we're all quite accustomed to. Understanding the open, high, low, and close of an aggregated 5-minute period. That's the problem. The data is aggregated. So what happened within that 5-minute period? Okay, we have no clue. Like, we don't know the story. We don't know where the volume traded. We don't know all sorts of like microstructural areas and who won the battles there that led to a bigger move. None of that data is here because it's all aggregated within a 5-minute period, completely closed off to us. Okay, we want to break that candlestick open and we want to see precise data of really what occurred. the number one element here on the Bookmap chart is to simply show historical best bid and offer. That allows you to break open that candlestick and see the price action within that 5-minute period. Okay, so for example, let's zoom into this area here. Okay, and here's our open, high, low, and close of this period, and then the close was up here, and then we saw some sideways action, and then we broke down below a little microstructural area. Okay, now you don't even see that in the candle here. Okay, what am I talking about? Let me show you. Okay, this is a microstructural area. It's basing sideways. Okay, there's a couple of lows here, 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th attempt here, it broke. It broke that low. We want to know this kind of information, and we want to know the volume and how it reacted or traded within this area. It's going to give us a lot of insight. Okay, and then ultimately we want to look at the heat map too, because that's going to tell us about the auction and the intent of traders in that auction. Okay, so let's turn on the volume here and look at microstructure with the volume and get a little more insight. Okay, and here we go. All right, let me bring down the dot size just a bit. Okay, this is very, very typical. Okay, we see that well, we broke from a structural area here just at the end of the 5-minute period at 10. Okay, well, there was some data at 10, so that's no surprise. And we went sideways here. Okay, here, look at the breakdown here. Okay, look who's in control. Okay, we see nothing but I mean, there's some green dots in here, but it's mostly red. Okay, no question about that. The sellers are in control here. Okay, they're driving price down below with plenty of volume and plenty of size. Okay, and they're going to get away from this valuation up here and reevaluate what this instrument is worth. That occurred here. Okay, right at this little moment. Okay, we don't see any of that data within this aggregated period. Even if you have a footprint chart, you're not going to see that. Okay, you'll see the precise volume and where it traded, but you're not going to see the microstructure. You can't, because it's aggregated. It's hidden within that aggregation. That's one element that you won't see. The other element that you're not going to see is the speed of these moves. Okay, everything's recorded here in Bookmap. Right, every single market event. So let's zoom into this area here, and I'll show you, because we're just looking at 2 elements so far. Right, so here we go. The 2 elements: historical best ask, best bid. Okay, and then the green dot here, this is an aggressive market buy. Someone hit the market buy button. They crossed the spread and they took liquidity off of the best offer. Okay, red is a market sell. Okay, that's usually, well, it's how the market works. It's how the market trades from one price level to the next. Okay, and it has to do with liquidity as well. Okay, sweeping of an order book, taking liquidity from one level down to the next. Okay, and I'll cover that book sweep in a minute here. But let's just get into some of the precision of the data here, because Bookmap is recording every single market event. Okay, so let's zoom into this area here, because we're probably going to see trades within trades. You can see here already. Okay, and this green dot here. Zoom in. Here's what actually occurred. Okay. Okay, and we're down now at microsecond level, so we're looking at millions of seconds. And we had a flurry of activity. 15 events took place for a volume of 23. Okay, so every single event is recorded. It is not aggregated. Okay, now we don't trade at microsecond or nanosecond levels, right? So let's zoom back out, and this is what Bookmap does for our convenience, is we just visually, okay, or graphically aggregate that into a bigger dot, okay? Because there were so many events that took place. This is the cleanest way to show this on a higher time frame. Okay, you want the precise data, click on the data tip tool here, and we get the date, the time here, very precise time, and then what was on the ask in terms of liquidity and the volume that traded here. Okay, so this dot here constitutes a volume of 49. Okay, so those are the two elements that we have on that chart. And let's get to the third element. And let's go to the current market for that third element. Okay, and that's the heat map. Okay, and now the heat map is all derived from the depth of market. So let's go to the current market. To the right of this vertical white line, this is the current market. Okay, here's your best bid and offer. Here's your last traded volume here. Here's your price ladder. And then the COB column here. Let's just go over only the COB column. It stands for current order book. Okay, these numeric values that you see here, this is liquidity. It's just like your dome. These are contracts lined up in specific price levels that they're providing liquidity here. Okay, they want to be buy or they want to be sellers up here at these price levels. Down on the bid, they want to be buyers down at these levels. Okay, so what we do in Bookmap is we take these numeric values and then in this current market window here, we graphically represent them. So areas of very high liquidity are painted in the heat map according to the scale up here. Okay, the orange is going to be very high liquidity on down to yellow, white, blue, and then black. Okay, so where's the high liquidity? Well, it's right in front of us. We know that there are buyers down here. Okay, the sellers want to get there. That's where they can meet and transact. Okay, and look at the reaction so far right now. The buyers are not taking this on. So we take this data in the current market window here. See how they're pulling now as price is moving away. They're pulling their contracts here. Okay, these larger players down here, and it looks like they're adding them up here. So they're starting to chase a little bit. It looks like. Okay? Just a little bit, not too convincing at the moment. Anyway, it's coming up to test higher liquidity here. Okay, at 39, 26.39. So understanding the book and the liquidity is a really important aspect of trading. And now you can access this. Okay, it's very difficult to read these numeric values. Okay, but in Bookmap we've taken them, we've given it a graphical representation, so you know areas of high liquidity. And then what we do is, this is where it gets really interesting, is we transpose it on the chart historically. Okay, so when it was bright down here, this kind of yellow and orange down in these areas here, okay, that was higher liquidity. Okay, here on the bid, 585 contracts. And then here, now it's 516, and then it's getting darker here, 486 contracts. So this is the pulling of liquidity, and this is what it looks like. Okay, and how can that help you? Well, we can start to piece together. Now you can see it's changing here because as I zoom back out, we're getting other areas of high liquidity that we're scaling to the highest area of liquidity and then giving that as a graphical reference here. Okay, here come the sellers. Okay, look at this. Look at the behavior here. As we're coming down, okay, these traders at this 34 level are adding in. Okay, that looks like they're interested to buy. Okay, now they're starting to pull a little bit. But we'll see now if we can sweep this book, if the sellers can sweep all of these liquidity levels down into 34, we'll see. Okay, looks like a pretty good move, pretty strong move here. Looks like wants to test 34. And let's see if those sellers are willing to engage here. Okay, and the buyers are starting to show interest again now as price is starting to move a couple ticks away. Okay, now we'll probably see this tested here. So let's hold tight here, and seeing some volume starting to trade a little bit lower. Okay, and we'll get our answer. Is this, do they have the intent to trade here or not? We're already starting to see that unfold here. Okay, look at them get really aggressive here now. They're adding in. Okay, and what is the reaction to price, or price's reaction to it? Okay, it immediately moved away, but now it's coming right back here. So there's still some selling interest here to take these guys on. Okay, now they're starting to pull. Okay, so now we're starting to engage or starting to understand this higher liquidity down here. Do they really want to trade? And the answer is no. Okay, it appeared like it did. Okay, but now they're pulling. Okay, so where does price have to go if they pull? Well, then it needs to come down to 33 and 32. Okay, we're probably going to get our book sweep here. Let's see it. Looking for it. No, finding some buyers here at the moment. Let's take the candlestick chart off here. Oh, it's back and forth really on the volume. Okay, so really no insight on that volume if they're going to sweep it lower. It looked pretty good here back at this area here, but you know, it's getting a little more convoluted now. It's a little bit of a battle going on. We can see, you know, see that battle unfold in front of us here. Okay. Anyway, understanding this liquidity is really what it gives us insight to this auction. Okay, and understanding previously, now we can zoom out in Bookmap, and we can start to understand these levels on much higher time frames. Okay, look at all the liquidity down here. Right, so if the sellers want to take these guys on, they've got to trade into all of these guys here, and they may, but we're going to get our insight here pretty soon. The move here is well, I mean, you can see all the interest here. Look at this very high liquidity down here at this area here. Okay, historically, okay, this was back just around 940, 945. Okay, and we saw that the reaction to that liquidity. Okay, we bounced up out of that area and then made a new high for the cash session here, and then made a new low. And then what was their intent down here? Well, look at them pull here. Okay, now we're starting to use the dome, okay, not just for the current market, we're using it for the historical market now, and we're starting to understand the auction and on the higher time frame, and then starting to extrapolate that understanding to the current market. Okay, so look at these areas down here at 32. This guy's been in the market here for a while, or these traders at this level have been here for a while. Okay, there's a lot of liquidity down here. Okay, so it's going to be let's zoom in here. Okay, here come the sellers. Okay, see the big red dots pulling this down. Okay, and 32 is where they've been here for a while. Okay, and let's see if they take them on here. Yep, there they go. Okay, taking them on, sweeping that book lower. Now, this is one of the first things we go through in the educational course. It's called a book sweep. Okay, let's zoom into this area here, and let me show you what this looks like. And we're going to define these areas if they're real liquidity and had the intent to trade or not. Okay, and here it is. Here's our answer. Okay. Absolutely, they have the intent to trade. All of these guys here at 32 that have been waiting here for a long time on the higher time frame had the intent to trade. Here's our answer. They traded right into them. About 300 contracts traded here. The liquidity at this area was about 700. And if we continue onwards here, we can see about 618 traded here, okay, at this price level. Okay. What about down below that here? Well, here's our answer as well. Absolutely. Okay. These larger players with higher levels of liquidity, they are now buy side. Okay. All right. What does that mean? Okay. This is what absorption looks like. Okay. That we trade into these areas here, and this area here was completely absorbed. They traded through. They had more power to trade through these guys up here at 33, but not at 32. Okay, not at this point at least, because why? Because we don't go lower. It started to bounce. All of the selling pressure here at this point has been absorbed. Okay, and now we're starting to understand that buyers are interested. Okay, and now we're starting to see the aggressive buyers starting to step in, and they're lifting the offer here. Okay, so let's wrap it up here. We're just going through that book sweep and understanding and making that distinction between high liquidity, longer term liquidity, intent to trade, absorption, areas of exhaustion where there's very little trading or very little liquidity, and understanding the aggressor as well. Okay? So just with very few examples here, we're really starting to understand the complete picture here of the order flow and the market and the intent of these traders, along with the power that the aggressor has here. Do they have? Are there more sellers interested here, or were they absorbed? All right, so we'll end here. If you have any questions, or let me know. Else, and you're subscribed to the product, then we'll see you in the next webinar in just a couple minutes. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, take care.